LSU on day 2. It's here in Omaha.
There are the days that merely happen in our lives, and then there are the days by which we mark our lives, like June in Omaha. Since 1947, the Men's College World Series has played host to college baseball's best. But this year's Field of 8 has somehow taken that idea of the best and made it better. They're pretty much all here. A two-way player legend, a revenge tour, a team defending the honor of an entire half of the map, brand name programs seeking to be the last team standing, or, okay, dogpiling. We even have a team making its first trip to Omaha since winning it all when Eisenhower was president. Oh, and Cinderella's at this dance, too.
Did he do it? Yes, sir! Wake Forest strikes again.
They are one of the most exciting teams.
Wake Forest is the #1 team in the land, but Stanford and shortstop Tommy Troy are back in Omaha for the 3rd straight summer. While LSU and Tennessee bring their longtime SEC grudge match to the banks of the Missouri River.
I'll take you down, I'll lift you up. Oh, baby, I was born for this. No, I just can't go. I can't miss. Don't you know, baby, I was born for this. Let's go, baby!
Gather round for this summer hardball festival we weren't merely born for, we live for. Welcome back to Omaha.
Don't you know, baby, I was born for this, yeah.
Welcome to the NCAA Men's College World Series presented by Capital One. Here we go, Tennessee, #1 all of last season. The Juggernauts, the villains. Well, now this year they're here against LSU, #1 this season for the majority of the year, and back in Omaha. How about the games we have had so far here at the College World Series, including earlier today? Wake Forest, the #1 overall seed, with yet another late inning surge. Brock Wilkin, Danny Corona, and Cam Manassi and the Deeks partying like they're here for the first time since 1955. They are, and they're winners. 8 teams here in Omaha in 2 brackets of 4, double elimination within those brackets. Then the 2 winners meet in a best-of-3 final that starts a week from today. With that, we say hello and welcome back to Omaha. Kyle Peterson, Chris Burke, Mike Monaco with you. Chris Budden joins us shortly. And guys, preseason #1, preseason #2. Now they meet in Omaha. Let's start with LSU, Berkey. Maybe the best position player and pitcher in the country.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever seen as talented of a duo as LSU features. Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, they're going to go #1 and #2 in the draft. Paul Skeens has dominated college baseball since opening weekend, has a chance to set the SEC all-time record for strikeouts in a season. Dylan Cruz has been an on-base machine, 2nd in Division I in on-base percentage, 2nd in runs. 2 of the most talented players, and we get to see them both tonight.
Yeah, that's the obstacle for Tennessee. And KP, for the Vols, everyone thought that last year Tennessee would be here. Well, they get here this season.
Who beat them last year?
Notre Dame.
I knew you wanted to get it in, so I'd let you. Yeah, it was, I mean, Tennessee, I think universally was seen as the best team in the country last year. But then they got clipped up. Notre Dame gets them in the Super. They don't end up here. Now this year they show up in a little bit different fashion. Preseason #2, but not a great first half. In fact, not a great first half at all. They were unranked. 5-10 in the SEC, kind of at a breaking point against Vanderbilt. In a game 1 of that series to start the second half, down 2 in the 9th, 2 solo home runs, a walk-off later. Now they get to spend some time here in June.
Here we go, guys. The regular season SEC schedules came out in the fall. Everyone circled it for the regular season. We get this matchup here in Omaha. First pitch is next. Stanford wins and is going to Omaha.
A dogpile, 58 years in the making.
And look out, Omaha. Here comes Tennessee.
LSU is headed back to Omaha.
Welcome back to Omaha. We have mentioned the star power that is in this LSU dugout. You have the best pitcher in the country in Paul Skeens and one of the best position players in the country in Dylan Cruz. But what if I told you these 2 teammates once faced each other in 2021 in what ended up being a milestone moment for Cruz?
Do you remember
first time you faced Dylan Cruz?
Yes, very well. I buckled him on a slider.
Dylan Cruz trying to make something happen when he gets to the plate.
Should have thrown it again.
I'm thinking he's going to throw me a fastball right here.
This ball is tattooed deep, deep, deep. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye.
My first career home run. He was now my teammate.
They didn't have a scouting report on me other than he throws really hard, so he probably knew I was going to come with a fastball, and he can hit a fastball.
When LSU posted this on Twitter, it got a reply from a guy you may have heard of, Alex Bregman, who played for LSU from 2012 to 2015. And he tweeted 1-1 in 3 years. What does that mean? First round, first pick. Greg's maybe knows what he's talking about a bit, guys.
Yeah, two good candidates for that, including Paul Skeens, Golden Spikes Award finalist with 188 strikeouts.
I don't know where you start, really, and I'm not quite sure where you end with Skeens. That's just kind of what you see. You're going to watch a big leaguer tonight. I mean, a guy that honestly you could fly to Yankee Stadium tonight, in this case Boston, and he could start Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow. He's as dominant for me as anybody we've ever seen at the collegiate level. How about 188 strikeouts and 18 walks, and you're going to see a fastball that can get up to 102 tonight. Whew.
Tennessee is seeing him for the second time this season. We check out the Capital One batting order for the Volunteers, and this group, big-time home run hitting potential, and Christian Moore, man, he was good in the regionals.
He was. It's a lineup that really leans on the home run to produce their offense. Christian Moore did that, especially in that Clemson regional. Was the MVP of that regional. 4 home runs this postseason. They need him to run into one tonight.
How much do you think that is a strategy that Tennessee is going to carry with them in terms of trying to take some big hacks against Skeens, knowing that he's going to get some strikeouts?
I don't know if big hacks is the word, but you have to take your A-plus hack because it's just hard to string hits together, and he doesn't walk people. So a Tennessee offense that's built on hitting the long ball, they're going to have to go up there and not be afraid to punch out some and make sure that over the course of the game they get their best swing off consistently.
Oh, here we go. Paul Skeens at LSU against Tennessee. His team squared off at the end of March, beginning of April at Alex Box Stadium. Third SEC weekend. It was 1 versus 10 in the country at the time. Tigers took 2 out of 3, the opener, and then game 2 as well. And then Maui Ahuna and Tennessee salvaged game 3 of that series. Get in price right now to get a ticket, according to Vivid Seats, $154
just to get in the door.
Yeah.
Well, those empty seats you see, they're not going to be empty very long. They clear the ballpark after the first game today. They're all coming back in, and it will be full really quick.
Get ready on the radar guns. First pitch from Paul Skeens is cut on and missed at an even 100, and off we go to Maui Ahuna.
At least it's straight.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes it easy. That only moved about 18 inches across the plate and straight down.
Skeens' first pitch in the Super Regional was 101.92.
Oh, that's outside.
So he's a little bit south of that to start. What a season it's been. The 188 strikeouts against just 18 walks for the Air Force transfer. Paul Skeens. That's up and away, working to the arm side against the Tennessee shortstop. Hawaii native, top 70 on our MLB draft rankings, according to Kylie McDaniel, and a preseason All-American for the Kansas transfer. Cuts through the heater, 2-2.
Punched him out 3 times the first time they faced each other back in March. And Ahuna struggles with velo, is you can see already to start this AB. Tardy on a couple 100-mile-an-hour heaters.
2-2. So Skeens sticks with it and thought he got strike 3 at 101.
Maybe just a little bit up. Angel Campos behind home plate tonight. Hayden Travinski thought it was there. He balked on the throw down to third base.
So payoff pitch. All fastballs so far.
And that's the one Ahuna can handle. It's a low to high bat path. He needs the ball below his thighs against the velocity of Skeens to have success. Had a chance right there.
Hunter Ensley, center fielder, is on deck. Pitch number 7 to Ahuna, and he strikes out on 102.
Buckle up, kiddos. This one might be kind of fun. You got a Tennessee who is not going to be intimidated by it. Now, they may get beat, but they're not going to walk into this with the mystique that I think some would when they're facing Skeens. That's 7 straight fastballs, 7 100 or greater. Last one just flipped in there at 102.
Now Hunter Ensley, the redshirt sophomore center fielder, looks at the first breaking ball from Paul Skeens, a slider that has been a big part of his story in this sensational season. Ensley has taken over this year in center for Drew Gilbert. It was a first-round pick. That's a slider for a strike.
Best pitch in the world.
The backup breaking ball.
Backup breaking ball. It's the best pitch in the world. The reaction's always the same.
Here comes the 1-1 to Ensley. The fastball on the ground to short. Diving stab. Jordan Thompson and not going to get Hunter Ensley. 1 out infield single. And Tennessee's got a base runner against Paul Skeens.
Hensley, one of the guys on this team that does handle velo, a really short, efficient move to the ball, able to get the barrel there. I think Thompson had a chance if he got the grip the first time, but was unable to make that transfer, and the Vols have an early base runner.
So brings up their left fielder in the 3 spot, Jared Dickey, redshirt sophomore who was second team SEC for the Vols. Tony Vitello told us this morning our best overall hitter. And with health comes performance for Jared Dickey, who looks at 101 for ball 1. Jared redshirted as a true freshman a couple of years ago when Tennessee was here in Omaha. And he told us this week he was watching from Charlotte, North Carolina, playing summer ball. He said it was not fun watching on TV. Skeens yanks that one 2-0 on Dickey.
Dickey, one of the hitters that had some success last time, and also Tennessee's best hitter against velo. So if you're looking for a combo in this lineup to do some damage, it's Ensley Dickey, and with a 2-0 count, couldn't ask for much more than this opportunity right here.
Skeens delivers. Line to third, right at Tommy White. 101 coming in.
What do you got? About 112 going out?
At least.
I mean, that you want to talk about not enough time to think. It is, you better hope you're in the right spot and sticks right in that glove. It was only 104 off the bat. Only 101 coming in, 104 going out.
Well, and what's interesting, most left-handed hitters would not see a third baseman played there, right? But because of the velocity of Skeens, you got the third baseman in much more of a traditional spot. Usually in the modern day, we see a shift there, and that ball's into left field.
Because you're expecting really late swings.
That's right.
Christian Moore now with 2 outs, and Hunter Ensley still at first. Or the sophomore second baseman from Brooklyn in the cleanup spot. Berkey told you what he did in the regional in Clemson, South Carolina. 4 home runs and the MVP of that regional. Breaking ball for a strike. Check on Ensley.
A couple barrels early for the Vols has to give that dugout some confidence. Again, they have seen Skeens before, and obviously you get weathered by that Southeastern Conference gauntlet. You see velo. Now, Skeens is a totally different animal. But I think maybe as much as any team in this field, somewhat of a comfort level against a pitcher like Skeens.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they've seen plenty of velo in the fall.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, when you're rolling out there at fall ball, Tennessee's going 98, 98, 98. So I would agree.
Slider away, 3-1 on Christian Moore.
So we talk about opportunities against Skeens. You don't get a ton of them. Here is one. You're getting a fastball right here.
That's what Tony Vitello said to us today. When you get those opportunities, you cannot miss them. Moore takes a strike at 101 on the black. Tony Vitello said to us, it's like Brett Favre. He's going to give you 3 or 4 interception opportunities. You got to be ready and capitalize.
Better not drop it.
2 outs in the top of the first. 3-2 to Moore. Fouled away.
That one much more hittable than the previous one, right? The other one knocked the black off the edge of the paint. That one was middle. Moore loves to use the backside of the field. His natural contact point is a little deeper. Because of that, he can struggle against velocity.
See if he gets another fastball from Paul Skeens. On his 20th pitch of this first. Strike 3 calls. 101 at the knees. 2 more Ks for Paul Skeens. He's got 190 of them. By the time you get in, there could be more. Back in Omaha, let's get you the Capital One batting order for LSU as they come up for the first time against Tennessee. We told you about Dylan Cruz. He's at the top, and like Paul Skeens, Tommy White, a transfer added to LSU this season.
97 ribbies, and obviously he had the good fortune of hitting behind Dylan Cruz all year long. But what an addition. He has been set the all-time freshman home run record last year at NC State, transfers to LSU, and follows it up with another monster season.
They face Andrew Lindsey, senior right-hander. And Berkey, you asked Tony Vitello today if you had told him a year ago Andrew Lindsey would be starting your first game in Omaha, what would he have thought? And he said, I wouldn't have even known who he was.
And he didn't. I mean, a year ago, Andrew Lindsey was coaching 13-year-olds on the East Coast when this tournament was going on. Wasn't sure if he was going to play again. That has changed and has really fit the role well. When this Tennessee team played at LSU, he was not even in the starting rotation, was still coming out of the bullpen, entered shortly thereafter, has really fit in this game 1 role of a weekend for Tennessee the back half of the season, a big reason why they've ended up where they are.
And part of the second best pitching staff in the country in terms of ERA, only behind Wake Forest, who we saw earlier today get that win in comeback fashion against Stanford. Bottom of the first, Lindsey is ready to go against Dylan Cruz. Golden Spikes Award finalist takes down with one of those turbo sinkers we're going to see from Lindsey.
He'll show you that, and it'll be good velo too. I mean, he's into the mid-90s, but when it's right, it's got a whole lot of down and moving in towards that right-hander.
Oh, that's
outside to Cruz, who is second in the country in OBP at 576. Saw the 434 average, the SEC Player of the Year, only the second 2-time winner, joining Florida's Matt Laporta. 3-0 on Cruz. The kind of stage that forces the cameras out with these two teams. SEC foes here in Omaha. That's a strike on the edge.
You're not going to see Dylan Cruz chase much. About half as much as a normal Division I player. Just 13% will he go off the edges of the plate. Knows the strike zone as well as anybody in the college game.
Grounds this one to short, and Maui Ahuna slipped defensively for the first down for Lindsey. Tennessee sticking with their pitching plan. They've had it this way for a little while now, with Lindsey going in the first games. Of course, they got Chase Dolander, probably going to be a top 10 pick as well, and they keep him slotted in that number 2 role.
And Drew Beam may have been better than all of them last weekend against Southern Miss. He slotted into that 3 role, and a closer in Chase Burns that'll come in throwing 100 himself.
He hit 102 in the Super Regional, so strap in, folks, on both sides. If you haven't watched these teams, the star power is silly. All 97 RBIs of them for Tommy White in the box. 2-0 on him. .22 home runs for Tommy White after transferring in from NC State, where Tommy Tanks was born. Lindsey delivers, and White fouls it back on 94.
You know, it's interesting. This is usually a fly ball pitcher's ballpark, but the wind is blowing out strong tonight. And against the number 2 home run hitting team in the country, I think it's such an advantage for Tennessee to have a sinker baller on the mound tonight, right? Because this is an offense that can take you deep 1 through 9.
2-1. Cut and a miss.
It's a little cutter he throws. And so the velocity's down a little bit. It'll be down 3 or 4 ticks. And even if it doesn't cut, staying straight is such a different look than that normal 2-seam fastball. It feels like to a hitter it is cutting some.
Lindsey's 2-2. And on the hands of White with his 2-strike approach.
Yeah, he's going to get wide. This is a unique move that he does. He not only spreads out, but he actually puts his his lead foot in an open position that mimics the way he lands when he strides. You can see that left foot. Look how the toe is almost pointing back at Lindsey. And he's going to try to minimize all movement.
You asked him about it the other day, and he told us that his head stays more stationary, and he feels like he gets better visuals on where the ball's going.
Yeah, it also puts him in a mindset of just fighting, right? I'm just trying to stay alive and use the backside of the field.
Strikes out on a nasty 96-mile-an-hour sinker. First K for Lindsey, and there's 2 gone.
That's the bowling ball one right there. He's not just flipping it in there tonight. He was 92, 93 early. The last 3 sinkers that Lindsey has thrown have all been 96. And I don't care how wide you get or what you're trying to do. There ain't a whole lot of guys that are going to put that one in play.
So White retired, and now Trey Morgan takes a sinker at 94 for strike 1.
Okay, so back it up.
Ball last year.
Yeah, coach and travel. This cat was. How'd you like to be taking BP last summer off of this? Just kind of working on 96 with a little sink. Stand on in there.
His team was so happy when he went back to play.
Yes.
They had hit a barrel all summer.
The Tennessee River Baseball Raptors. Andrew Lindsey is coaching them. He's a 23-year-old in his first year with the Vols. He had been at Charlotte. Took off last year for personal reasons. Morgan singles off 95 into center. 2-out knock and LSU's first base runner.
Trey Morgan's been hot now, hitting about 350 in postseason play. Gets her sinker middle. A bullet right back up the box. And extend the inning for Hayden Travinski, who has been one of the best stories in this LSU lineup second half of the season.
Redshirt junior catcher from Shreveport, Louisiana, who's actually got a higher OPS than Dylan Cruz and Tommy White, obviously in a smaller sample size, but that's how good he's been. First pitch swinging, and he pops one up back to Berkey's direction.
Maybe the best example of the insane depth on this roster is the fact that the leader of this team in OPS basically didn't play their first 30 games.
He's got 89 at-bats.
Now he's hitting cleanup in Game 1 of the College World Series.
0-1 to Travinski is up high. Travinski has fought injuries over the last few seasons. Meniscus and elbow, shoulder, and concussion. Jake Johnson, his head coach, said to us earlier today, it's the talent we thought we could see when we first arrived on the scene in Baton Rouge. On the edge, a called strike with the cutter.
So the ability to shake the ball both ways, Lindsey's showing you early in this game, right? Just a little bit of a dart cutter on the outside edge, and then we've seen the bowling ball sinker that runs into right-handers.
2 outs, man at first in the home half of the first. Line toward right center field by Travinski, and on the move, Christian Scott makes the catch, and the inning is over. Zeros on both sides out of the gates at Omaha. The NCAA Men's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallets?
It is an assassin's mind with all the talent in the world, and the preparation of a Navy SEAL. You put all those things together, and you put together the greatest college pitching season that I've ever seen.
What a quote by Jay Johnson. He likes to compare him to Steven Strasburg. Says just the ability to have the greatest plan in the world, go into it, and it doesn't matter. You throw whatever you want, whenever you want. There's just not much people can do against it. Said you also take the preparation. He says he probably prepares better with that Air Force background than most 10 to 12-year leaguers in the major leagues.
I mean, you saw the note, Chris. 14 of the 20 pitches in the first were 100 plus. And yeah, it's about the person too, and the self-discipline and the leadership in the clubhouse for Paul Skeens, who goes back to work in the second and gets his third strikeout. Fan Zane Denton, the third baseman, in the 5 spot. One away in the second.
I think the thing with Skeens, and this is how you punch out now 191 and walk 18. Yes, velocity is the first thing that jumps out, and obviously it does. But the off-speed stuff is so good too. I mean, Denton saw 3 pitches of a guy that throws 102, and he didn't see 1 fastball. It was a breaking ball to start, 2 straight changeups for Skeens' 3rd strikeout of the night.
Now he faces the DH for the Vols, Griffin Merritt, the Cincinnati transfer and a leader for Tennessee, and he doesn't get a fastball either.
No, but again, that's what you have to live with, right? You're going to go up there with fastball timing, and if he throws that slider, you're going to miss. You get 3 strikes, right? You got to take your A+ swing. Oh. Yeah.
Dotted at 100.
And then he goes off the edge and brings it back at 100. I mean, the command, it's not just control, it's command at 100 miles an hour.
2 years at Air Force as a two-way player, and then, of course, transferred to LSU in the offseason. This is about the only thing that'll slow him down.
And a beach ball.
Yeah.
Too, which that's our first one.
Yeah. Saturday night.
I keep a beach ball count every year.
Saturday night feels right.
I keep it right on the edge of my book. Yeah. 1. Skeens fastball 100 or more. 15 tonight. Beach ball 1.
Breaking ball again for strikeout 4. Merritt goes down via the punch out. 2 gone.
He's thrown 1 fastball in the inning. He struck 2 guys out. This is the one. Here's what is so interesting about Skeens. His average fastball velocity this year is up 5 miles an hour. Okay, it's over 98 miles an hour, so it's over 5 over last year. His average slider velocity is actually down 1. He's just reshaped the pitch and changed the way that it is, and the outcome on it has been very different.
Here's Blake Burke, power hitting first baseman, takes 100 for strike 1. Blake Burke turned one around in the Super Regionals and hit it 479 feet in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He's got juice. Swings through a heater, and it's 0-2.
The ball Wyatt Langford hit last night, the longest home run in the history of this stadium, went 456 feet. The ball Blake Burke hit in the Super Regionals, 25 feet further or so than that one. That's
479.
0-2. And fouled away.
Just to give you a little perspective on how far that ball was hit. I think it would have taken a dot out of his face here if he had hit that one on the scoreboard.
Blake Burke just spoiled a would-be immaculate inning. 0-2. Skeens with a back foot breaking ball. Yeah, both these teams can hit the home run. Tennessee 6th in the country in homers, 125 of them. Remember last year hit 158, 4th most in D1 history. And LSU, for its part, 2nd in the country with a $133 this year.
Let it go!
Check swing, and again no swing from Blake Burke.
Blake Burke's really been struggling down the stretch, but those are some really good takes. Yeah. That will tell you that, yeah, you got to get ready for the heater, but not cheating so much that he can't lay off a couple breaking balls down and in.
Skeens ready with a 2-2.
Oh,
misses and a full count.
See how high Travinsky set up right there? That's what they were trying to do.
Travinsky wanted it too.
Yeah.
He was starting his jog off the field.
Payoff pitch. Gas.
That's 6 outs so far. 5 of them have ended the exact same way. Paul Skeens doing Paul Skeens stuff. Got a good one tonight. 1.5 on a perfect night in Omaha. We are scoreless.
Welcome back to the NCAA Men's College World Series presented by Capital One. KP said a perfect night here in Omaha, Nebraska, and this place has filled in as we thought it would. Big ticket prices that we've been tracking all week. What was it, KP, a little earlier in the week? Like average ticket price of 400 something?
Yeah, the good ones were 400 to 500 bucks. I think it went down a little bit later on, but these two teams show up. That's not really a shock.
Andrew Lindsay works in the bottom of the 2nd with no score here on day 2 at the College World Series. It's the LSU DH Cade Beloso, grad student from New Orleans. That OPS, the best of his career. Essentially a 4-year starter for the Tigers.
Oh, that's inside.
After the ACL injury last year, healthy this year. Here comes the 3-0. That's a strike on the outside part of the plate.
Kind of a fascinating matchup, right? Two guys that weren't so sure they were going to be playing baseball a year ago. Gabe Beloso almost walked away from the game. Jay Johnson talked him out of it. Wow, as he responded with a monster season.
That's a strike, full count.
Probably.
Three and two as Skeens has come back from 3-0 against Zane Denton. Struck out his first time and then was at the plate when Hunter Ensley was caught stealing. Griffin Merritt next. Payoff pitch on foul. Yeah, that losing stretch to start the year, more losses than they expected as the preseason number 2. Christian Moore told us it felt like a dark cloud over us for a good bit of time this season. We kept saying we came together to get here. Strike 3 called. 100 on the black and a smirk from Paul Skeens, his 8th K.
I mean, Skeens is good enough on his own. But the zone is wider tonight than we've seen a lot during the course of the season, and I think that's kind of the look from Zane Denton right there. Is he thought that one was? I thought that one was a little bit out there too. If you're going to give him a little bit more, that road gets really hard.
Griffin Merritt off the hands, shoots one into right field, the base hit. 1 out single for Griffin Merritt, the DH. And the 3rd hit of the ball game for Tennessee.
Well, not exactly lighting up the exit velo, but watch the lead arm here. Watch how short this left arm stays close to the body, right? So you keep that left arm connected to the chest. That allows the barrel to get just enough of that baseball and punch it into right field. Balls have a base runner. Look, this is what you got. You got a runner on with a guy who has a puncher's chance every time he comes up to bat. Somebody's going to have to run into one for this Tennessee offense to strike.
First pitch swinging from Burke. We told you when about 480 to the church in Hattiesburg for number 16. It was his first home run since April. Christian Moore said this. I was getting water. I didn't even see it. My back was turned. I heard it. I said, oh, yeah, that's Blake Burke. 0-1. That's outside with the change.
Surprised. I mean, Cruz is playing pretty shallow in the outfield right now. Pearson's playing fairly shallow and left with the wind blowing out and the guy standing at the plate that can hit it a mile. I mean, Cruz can go get it, don't get me wrong, but they can hit it over his head right now.
Well, and I'm also surprised that they're not playing. I know the velo is extreme, but for the most part, Blake Burke's going to hit the ball on the ground to the right of second base. They're playing a pretty traditional infield alignment as well, KP. Slightly oppo in the outfield and shallow in center, and a pretty standard infield approach here. 2-1,
and Burke skies this one. Shallow in the left. And Pearson for out number 2.
I told you they shouldn't play deeper.
Yeah, why would he go any deeper?
Just said should not be playing deeper in the outfield.
Jay Johnson 1, KP.
Yep.
0. Hang in there, kid.
Only halfway through. Cal Peterson, Chris Burke, Mike Monaco with you upstairs. Chris Budden down at field level. Our entire crew behind the scenes. All right, so 2 outs now. Griffin Merritt still over at first, and to the 8th spot for Christian Scott, the 5th-year senior from Clarksville, Tennessee. This guy had 39 hits his first 4 years. He's got 40 this year alone. Tony Vitello told us this morning, I'm so happy for Scott. He gets to play now every day. He's really come along as a leader and isn't trying to take the world by storm, which maybe he was doing at the beginning of this season.
Yeah, early part of that story was they had a lot of guys fighting for time. You know, and so it's hard. Last year, everybody essentially knew their spots. This year, there was a bunch of guys knowing there was a ton of playing time up for grabs. So, you know, it's hard to build team chemistry when you're duking it out with the guy in the locker next to you for playing time. And Christian Scott settled in. He's out there because of his defense, but the offense has been plenty good.
1-1.
Oh, that's
Tony
outside.
Vitello said about the defense, we can't have arms frustrated by guys not making plays behind him because the pitching staff is that good and that talented.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, by the numbers, probably the 2nd best pitching staff in the country behind only Wake Forest.
2-1 to Scott. Caught on and missed.
Stay there. That bat path. Little barrel lag right there. And when you see that with an elevated fastball, there is no reason. You throw something off speed to give him a chance right there. That's no reason to go away from that one.
Skeens 2-2. Cut on and miss. 109 Ks in 5 shutout for Paul Skeens. LSU fans saying that tonight. Number 1 got the win against Stanford in comeback fashion. And, well, we've had comebacks and we've had 1-run games so far in these first couple of days at the Men's College World Series.
3 1-run games? I mean, are you kidding me? We knew this was going to be an incredible tournament, but we didn't know we were going to get this kind of drama early.
Another pitching change for Tennessee. They go to the 5th-year senior in his 2nd year with the Vols. 1st year pitching for him, Seth Halverson, the Missouri transfer.
Yeah, it's another thumber. I mean, that's what you're going to see for Tennessee. He's only going to probably throw 98. So just a tick down from Skeens. Average fastball velo this year for Halverson, 96 miles an hour. Most of his work, in fact, most all of his work has been out of the bullpen. Just 1 start this year, but Halverson does have the ability to go deeper into games, and for almost any other team in the country, Seth Halverson's in your weekend rotation. It's that kind of stuff.
He's got the top of the lineup for LSU, starting with Dylan Cruz. Singled his last time, came off his bat at 108. He takes 98 down. 2 appearances in the NCAA tournament for Halverson. It's 7 1/3, just 1 hit. KP, you saw him in that 14-inning affair against Clemson. He went 3 1/3 hitless in that one.
Ain't that light on stuff. Breaking ball, the slider has good swing and miss. He'll throw the changeups more to lefties, but he will throw it to righties too.
Cruz in the air, right field, and Christian Scott drifts back. One away. Yeah, speaking of the breaking ball, Tony Vitello was saying to us this morning that earlier in the season for Seth Halverson, in particular in that series against LSU, it was more a cement mixer, and he said Halverson's got it going now with the breaking ball.
We saw the one he threw. Now it missed down and out of the zone, but it had the action that you're looking for and the good curveball.
Well, he's retired Cruz, and now Tommy White climbs in. Strikeout and a ground out. He has seen a couple nasty sinkers.
We're getting close to our next 100. How many? We said 6 was the number, or I said 6 was the number?
You said 6, I said 5.
Okay.
What was it I missed? It was a 99?
It was
99.
Yeah, we hit a 99. Can we count that?
No, you can't count that.
There was a pause, though.
The worst question you've asked all week. Can we count that?
I knew that would get him fired.
No.
1-1. If you weren't with us last night, these two brilliant baseball minds. Oh, what's that? Is Scott Gustafson, producer, says clowns is actually pronounced.
He's called us worse.
That's true.
Put a wager on how many guys will hit 100+ here in Omaha. One said 6, one said 5. White bounces it to short at Maui Ahuna. 2 down. And so we are keeping track. This is pilot Tom Williams with the drone.
Bring it on in.
What do you say, Tommy?
That a kid, Tommy.
Attaboy T.
What a look.
Wow. Look at this place. We have not seen a day like day one yesterday for a first day at the Men's College World Series.
No, two last-at-bat comebacks. I mean, the drama was, couldn't have scripted it any better.
Ball and a strike on Trey Morgan, first baseman for LSU. Single to center, and then an RBI ground out comebacker that he hit hard at Vol starter Andrew Lindsay.
Ball
down.
Changeup was gnarly.
How good? Taking over right side.
Opponents hitting a $199 coming in against Seth Halverson. 2-2. Close.
Don't give me that look. I mean, it's math is math. I'm sorry. 99 is awesome, but it's still not 100.
Not 100.
Halverson nods and is 2-2.
Oh, that's outside.
Yes, misses outside. A full count. Hayden Travinski would be next in the cleanup spot. 3-2 on the way. Oh, that was filthy. Just a sick changeup from Seth Halverson and a one.
Pretty good baseball game tonight. This is a Capital One rewarding performance, and I wasn't supposed to talk there, but I am now. 9 strikeouts so far for Paul Skeens, and I mean, just pick a superlative here. The fastball's been up to 102. He's thrown 30 fastballs 100 or higher. That's average velo, folks. I mean, come on. It's just, I don't. You struggle to not overhype it, but the reality is, I've never seen anybody like this at the collegiate level. I just haven't.
He's dominant, yet it's become par for the course for Paul Skeens all season. He's got 9-1-2 for Tennessee, down 2-0 in the 6th, starting with the catcher Cal Stark, who had the first ball out of the infield back in the 3rd when he popped out to left center. And then it's also the person that Paul Skeens is as well. And Jay Johnson has raved about the impact he's made in that regard.
Oh, that's outside.
We were talking with Cade Beloso this week. He said it's the hunger inside of Paul Skeens. And we wanted to get like particulars about that and actual examples. It's incredible what Paul Skeens does.
Yeah, we said, give us an example.
This one's popped up. Big league pop up toward Tommy White for the first down. to Chris.
Well, Skeens wears the number 20. It's a special number for him in honor of 2018 Air Force Academy graduate Travis Wilkie, who was also a catcher for the baseball team, passed away in a training accident. And that number goes to the person that exemplifies that spirit at the Air Force Academy. And Paul Skeens had met him during his first initial visit. So he called the family and said, I would like to continue that tradition when I head to Baton Rouge, asked for the number 20. When you talk to him about his time at Air Force, he gets very emotional knowing that it was a hard decision for him to leave. He said, listen, what I do every day, I throw a baseball. Some of those guys that I train with, they might not be here a couple of years from now. And it's also why he wants to go back, be a part of the military when he's eventually done with his baseball career.
And that's pretty special. The commitment in that regard, even though transferring out of the Air Force was a better choice for him from obviously a baseball perspective.
What's he do wrong? Where's the knock here? I was talking to some LSU fans before the game today. We were talking about Skeens. The guy looks at me. He's like, "Yeah, I see him every Sunday too. We go to the same church. He shows up every Sunday." I mean, it is so incredibly solidly consistent, no matter what he does.
Well, this guy's got a few knocks off him, but Jordan Thompson with a throw. Trey Morgan the stretch to get Hunter Ensley. Tennessee will want to have a look at this.
He's as good as there is over there, but I don't know if he can actually add length to his legs. I mean, he can do everything right, but I don't know how you stay on the bag on this one.
Heck of a play by Jordan Thompson, showing you range to his left and the nifty flip of the hips there and a sidearm release. The ball fades a little up the line, but man, it does not look initially.
He's out.
I don't know. He is out.
He's out.
Yeah.
And I didn't think there was any chance he was out.
Yeah, he's out. Wow.
He's a magician.
He was actually on top of the base, which is interesting there too.
Go critique him. Go down and critique him on it.
I'm not critiquing. I'm pointing out. I don't know that I've seen somebody stretch that far and be on the top of the bag as they're doing it.
His footwork when he goes from one side of the base to the other, and sometimes when he has to go behind a runner, is as good as you're going to see over at first base. I think he kept it on. I think he's out.
I think he's out.
And I think he thought that he was off himself. It looked like on the first look that we showed of him that he was saying, I pushed off.
He doesn't anymore.
And now his tune has changed.
And nobody loves that more than the infielders, right?
Yeah.
Tell me why Jordan Thompson are freaking out the most about it, because they get the benefit.
The ruling at first base is confirmed. Out. Tennessee has one challenge remaining.
Our legs don't work that way.
No, I don't know that any humans do, except that one right there. That's as good as you're going to see at first base. Trey Morgan has done it his entire career, and he does it again. It's 2-0 Tigers.
We are out here in Omaha, Nebraska, and the Men's College World Series 76th edition. And we go to the bottom of the 6th in this matchup on day 2. The last 2 of these 8 teams to get onto this diamond at Charles Schwab Field. Preseason number 1, LSU against preseason number 2, Tennessee. Last foul by Hayden Travinsky out of the cleanup spot for the Tigers, up 2-0. Seth Alverson deals, and this is down with a breaking ball, 2-1. Boy, he looked good in the 5th inning for Tennessee. His 2-1 in the air foul.
Fastball up to 99, swing and miss changeup at 87, 88, a big breaking ball 81, 82. So you want to play in the SEC, huh? Like this is what you're getting out of the bullpen. So get to the cage, youngsters.
Is that diving changeup at 88.
We were talking in break. If you were a scout 20 years ago and you had come to the game and you saw Halverson's last inning, you would turn in a report that said this guy should go top 10 overall. because it was 99 with a wipeout changeup and a really good breaking ball, and he came out of the bullpen in the 4th inning, 6th inning, whatever it was, 5th.
Split the difference. Yeah, he's a 5th-year senior out of the pen on one of the best pitching staffs in the entire country.
Late.
Does issue the leadoff walk to Hayden Travinski, and now here's Cade Beloso. Ground out to first, strikeout looking, and 0-1 on the breaking ball. Halverson's 0-1. Beloso pops this one up into shallow left. Dickey is there for the first out. Following our game tonight here on ESPN, stay with us for UFC Fight Night. Middleweights, number 3, Marvin Vettori, and number 4, Jared Cannonier battled it out at the Apex in Las Vegas. UFC Fight Night coming up next here on ESPN. You were doing our Capital One read earlier.
Yeah.
Any interest in that one next time?
No, I mean, I knocked the first one out. I don't know why we'd stop there.
Yeah, it's my bad.
Apology accepted.
Cut and the miss. 1 out, 1 on for Gavin Dugas, who's homered and walked. Berkey, you do many promo reads ever?
I'll sneak one in from time to time.
You ever done one accidentally?
No. I've seen a guy do it once.
Wild pitch, kicks away from Cal Stark, trying to locate it. And Travinski will settle for second.
What do we got here? Uh-oh. Careful.
Not done yet.
Careful, Mr. Travinski. He's used to trotting. Hasn't had to make a lot of hard turns at second this year.
It's like a home run every 9 at bats for Hayden Travinski.
Yeah, somewhere along the course of this season, Hayden Travinski turned into Mike Piazza 2.0. I mean, the facial hair, the flow, size-wise, it's very similar.
2-1. Breaking ball for a strike to Dugas.
Good pitch.
Two. Cut on and miss. Bottom just drops right out of it.
That is filthy.
Yeah, this year the swing and miss percentage on the changeup against righties is about 40%. This shows you why, and that's glove side, which is tougher to get over the top of. A lot of times that real good sink that you have at the arm side, it's easier to finish that pitch. That one you really got to get extension, and it went straight down.
That one acts almost as a split, just bottoms out at the zone, and that's where that velo speeds the hitters up. Nasty 2-strike pitch there from Halverson.
Here's Braden Jobert. Takes a slider that lands for a strike. So a couple of Ks for Seth Halverson and a couple of hard pieces of contact for Jobert. Comebacker at 110 in the second, double at 103 to the pull side in the fourth. The 0-1 is a heater down at close 99.
If you hit 399s, it counts as 100. You okay with that? It's good math.
That's incorrect.
We are velocity seekers up here at the booth. 2 outs, Travinski board, and that's hit hard toward the gap in right center with Ensley on the move, and it's off the base of the wall. Travinski scores. Jobert takes for third. Headlong dive with a run-scoring triple. LSU had been 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts with runners in scoring position, and guess who comes through again for them with another ball just tagged.
How about put on a laser show, Mr. Joe Bear? I mean, it has been a missile fest from the start for him. A rocket up the middle, a bullet for a double, now a triple that just dented the center field wall.
This is a hot shot off the glove of Ahuna, and it's 4-0. LSU in the 6th.
Awfully impressive, boys. They are barreling up some really nasty stuff. A rocket to the backhand of Maui Ahuna hit so hard it just doesn't stay in the glove at 103 miles an hour, and that is just back-to-back barrels for this talented and deep LSU lineup that continues to impress here in the back half.
I know they've only scored 4 runs. I bet they've hit 10 balls, at least 100 off the bat tonight. That may be light.
Tony Vitello points to the pen with Josh Pearson at the plate. And a 4 spot up there for LSU with a couple of runs here in this 6th. Tigers up on Tennessee. Jay Johnson said this week he thought his LSU team was playing the best baseball it has all season. And the Tigers here in the 6th in their first game in Omaha this year, in their first trip back in 6 years, with a couple more runs. Braden Joe Bear with a run-scoring triple. Jordan Thompson drives in another. And it is 4-0 LSU on Tennessee. Kirby Connell comes in for Tennessee to go left on left with Josh Pearson with a man aboard and 2 outs. The veteran southpaw will check on Jordan Thompson.
This is going to be a little different look than we've seen so far this game, boys. The average fastball velo just a click under 86. But you're going to see a big breaking ball, a little bit of a tighter slider, and he could turn that changeup over as well.
Bullpen's been so good for Tennessee in the NCAA tournament, and only given up just a couple of runs in the half-dozen games in these last few weeks. Now foul, 0-2.
The Tennessee fan base has nicknamed Kirby Connell Volley Fingers because of that classic mustache he's featuring. Now Skeens has still got a ways to go to get there.
Yeah, it's not even close.
No.
With all due respect to Paul Skeens. Who, by the way, when we asked him about his curl that we saw him twirling himself here in the dugout a few innings ago, he said he just started it like 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah, he needs to try harder, KP. It's not there yet. It's not to that level.
Look at that piece of art. Bounce to first, and Burke with a mishandle, but a recovery. Special delivery to the bag for Blake Burke. Connell, volley fingers, does his job, but it's LSU up 4-0 through 6. To left field by Dugas. See ya. LSU strikes first. They struck first, and they've added 3 more since. 4-0 is the Tigers' margin, and they got Paul Skeens on the bump. Now second all-time alone in SEC history with 197 strikeouts. 9 of them tonight.
5 away. 5 away from Big Ben's record.
3, 4, and 5 in the Vols lineup. And ball 1 to Jared Dickey. Line out to third, fly out to left for Dickey out of the 3 spot. Talking about the work ethic of Paul Skeens. Cade Beloso was sharing with us that Skeens goes around the locker room looking at teammates, pointing at him and saying, I outworked you, I outworked you, I outworked you. Pretty much every single day, Beloso told us. We said, well, is it like funny? And guys are laughing about it? He said, no, he's not joking. He works that hard.
But it is still kind of funny.
Yeah,
like, it's funny, but it's true, and Skeens can pull it off because he's just that kind of dude.
This slice to left, and Josh Pearson runs it down for the first out of the 7th.
Boy, Jared Dickey's got to be scratching his head here a little bit. The Tigers have had him play perfectly. A rocket to Tommy White to start his day. This one, I don't know if that would have landed fair or not. Maybe just a touch foul, but Josh Pearson perfectly positioned.
And Dickey on number 1. Now Christian Moore. A strikeout and a line out to left.
Yeah.
And a slider.
All right, so we hear so often now, first time through the order, second time through the order, third time through the order. So this is on the year. Against Skeens, first time through the order, teams are hitting 140. Second time through the order, 219. So you would suspect normally that it continues to go north. Third time through the order, 144. It gets better.
That's crazy.
Significantly better.
His 90th pitch is another slider to Moore. Slider's been a big part of the story this year, how he changed the grip. We gave him a baseball the other day, and he showed us just what that split slider grip is like, and it's made a world of difference. Fastball dotted at 99. 10 Ks for Skeens, 2 away.
91 strikeouts, and that one was 99, which isn't 100, Berkey. However, tonight, it's over 30 fastballs of 100 miles an hour or more from Skeens.
With command. I mean, that ball is down and on the edge.
He hasn't walked anyone. Again.
I think what's wild is you talked about it, 5 miles an hour jump from last year to this year as he's focused just on pitching and doesn't have the demands of being at the Air Force Academy. But last year he walked 30 in 85 innings. This year, coming into this start, 18 in 107 innings. So the velo has jumped, and the command has gotten not just better, but significantly better.
2-0 on Zane Denton, who's struck out both times so far. Now we got 36 total pitches, 100 plus. 2-1. Can't add to it, but it's 2-2.
100 in every inning.
Yeah, he's back down to 99 here in the 7th.
Easily.
He nods yes to Hayden Travinski and unleashes a fastball line foul at 100. You mentioned the demands of the Air Force. He told us he's getting more sleep now because of what the schedule was like at the academy. He said there'd be people in the dorms walking through the halls all night wheeling stuff around. Gets more sleep now, has recovered better, and with giving up the two-way responsibilities as well. Jay Johnson was saying to us today he doesn't do as much rotationally, can recover more. He's got 2 outs here in the 7th. His 98th pitch is
ball 4.
Ball 4 at 100 to Zane Denton, who is on with 2 outs for Tennessee, down by 4.
That's a great at bat. Took a nasty 2-2 changeup, then spit on a fastball off the edge. Zane Denton, who's been fantastic for Tennessee this entire postseason, with a big-time quality at bat to extend the inning for Griffin Merritt. And we talked about this Tennessee offense needing to hit a ball at the ballpark. With Merritt and Burke up here back-to-back, I know there's 2 outs, but you know the opportunity certainly exists with these next 2 sluggers.
Merritt's got a team leading 18 of them. He singled to the backside his last time off Skeens in the 5th. Gets a slider to start. Merritt, a two-time captain at Cincinnati, transferred in to join the Vols, where he's been one of their leaders. Been around college baseball a while. Another slider.
The AAC Player of the Year last year has not disappointed. It hasn't been perfect all year long, but you look at the overall production. He has had an incredible year for Tennessee. So many big hits, a walk-off homer against Vanderbilt that really sparked their season.
Skeens 0-2. Yeah, Griffin Merritt said recently, I'm 23 going on 40. He's going to be a dentist.
He's already been admitted. Ohio State Dental School.
Christian Moore said to us, yeah, he's going to be a dentist. He's going to live his life in clean teeth, I guess. They love him as a leader. 1-2 from Skeens is caught on and miss. 99 from Paul Skeens, glancing back to check his velo with strikeout number 11. This guy is a flat-out superstar, and he's delivered on the big stage tonight in Omaha.
Welcome back to the NCAA Men's College World Series, presented by Capital One.
Well done.
I was a little bit nervous there. I gotta be honest with you.
Berkey just walked back in,
yeah, right in the middle
after stepping out and had a quizzical look.
You're such a ball hog. Let the man do his job.
Spread the wealth. Camden Sewell is on, fifth-year senior at 6'4", $175, has pitched a lot for the Vols in his career. Preseason All-American this year, a career 2.72 ERA. He enters for the bottom of the 7th.
Another guy who, it's a similar story, KP. Another guy who was thinking about hanging him up, and sometime in the summer rethought that decision, has come back and been fantastic out of this Tennessee bullpen again. A little bit of a throwback, similar to Cannell, where it's a sinker slider, more works on deception and missing barrels than you'll see the electric velo like we see from so many guys out of the bullpen these days.
He's coming on for the top of the LSU lineup. It's 4th time through, beginning with Dylan Cruz, the stud for LSU. Ground out single, fly out to right for a likely top 3 pick. He jams one into shallow right, and Scott in a diving bid, but it drops down. And Cruz has a leadoff double.
Well, two-seamer that runs in on the hands of Cruz, but right into no man's land. Christian Scott gives everything he has to come up with that one. Cruz puts the gas pedal down. A ball that tied him up turns into a leadoff double, and here comes this Tiger offense again.
The on-base machine is aboard again for LSU. Now Tommy White, 0 for 3, a couple of ground ball outs in this one. Upstairs to begin from Sewell. Tommy White's got it all working, always. Chains and sleeve, hair.
Oh yeah, he's spent some time now. This doesn't happen quickly, right? You got to tape it up. You got to change colors. The chain deal, I don't know. What do we get? About 4 of them. There's a lot of swag going on there. Oven mitt.
2-0. Tommy tanks, lines one to left center, and it drops down in front of Jared Dickey. Throw comes in, and White will hold it first. A double and a single to begin for the Tigers in the 7th. So 2 on with no one out. And now to the 3 spot in the LSU lineup for Trey Morgan. And Frank Anderson, the pitching coach, will head on out there to the bump. What's he saying on his way out?
I don't know. He was, whatever he was saying, he had a smile on his face. It had to be friendly, right?
Seemed it.
Didn't have to be.
It was.
Looked like it was.
Oh, hey, for more coverage of the NCAA Men's College World Series and interactive brackets, go to ncaa.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Sorry, man.
Keep your head up, KP. We'll get back to you.
2 on for Trey Morgan. First pitch, breaking ball. Jay Johnson was saying to us about Trey Morgan, preseason second-team All-American coming into this year. It's just phenomenal hand-eye, the bat-to-ball skills. And he's really improved as a hitter when he stays in the zone. Said there's hardly any swing and miss on pitches in the zone, and we dug up the numbers. Overall, he makes contact 88% of the time on swings on pitches in the zone. He is rarely coming up empty. Line foul.
Listen, a lot of these guys like fashion. We talked about Tommy Tanks. How about the cleats that my man Trey Morgan's wearing? If you can see him, the say NOLA on the side. They have some masks, very Mardi Gras-ish. Dylan Cruz very into the cleats. He's got 30 pairs of custom cleats.
Ball.
Side 2-2.
30.
College baseball in 2023, folks.
We got a pair of black Mizunos. And you got another one if the toe ripped out of it. Like if you had a pitching toe on it, the toe went out, then you could actually finally get another pair.
Cruz's favorite pair are the ones that have a portrait of his dogs on them. We went on the white on whites.
What would Coach Marquis have thought of those?
Oh, there would have been a discussion.
Morgan lines it and drops it down foul.
Dylan was a little, what's the word, conservative with his shoe selection tonight. I was expecting maybe a little louder choice. It was kind of just
saving up.
Yeah, just sharp and clean, but Trey Morgan filled in.
Yeah, clean's a good word for the high top whites. Rhett Lauder, the Wake Forest star ace, he's got good high tops working as well.
That was a heck of a ball game earlier today. Wake and Stanford duking it out. Both pitching staffs pretty impressive with those two lineups.
Morgan on a line to center. It sends Ensley back to make the catch. Cruz in the clean whites tags, and it's 5-0 on a sac fly from Trey Morgan. Now the cleanup man, Hayden Travinsky.
Oh, that's outside.
What do you guys make of how LSU factors into this 8-team field? We know about Skeens and a lineup that's top 5 in the country in runs per game. Wake's #1. You got Florida as the #2 overall seed. How do the Tigers fit in?
They're right there at the top of the conversation. I mean, the talent level is immense, and I think what I was looking forward to seeing from this lineup is the bottom half going to continue to perform the way we've seen from them in the postseason, and boy, have they checked that box here this evening. We know about the talent in the first 4 hitters, but the back half of this LSU lineup is just as dangerous right now. I mean, so many guys swinging it really, really well.
It is. I mean, but the concern, and I think it's understood, is what happens after Skeens. Offensively has been incredibly consistent all year for LSU, but after Paul Skeens has not been incredibly consistent. Ty Floyd's had some really good ones. He's had some other ones that have just been okay. Thatcher Hurd's come on more towards the end of the year. But I think that's the only question right now. I mean, when you roll that cat out there, you're going to beat about anybody anytime. But it can't be just him, period.
Yeah.
That math doesn't work.
Yeah, I think the emergence of Gavin Guidry and the breaking ball that he's featured obviously has helped solidify things. We know about Riley Cooper and the veteran left-hander and his ability to extend games in the middle innings if need be. So there's enough. We've seen teams come here with 4 or 5 pitchers and win this thing. And, you know, Skeens kind of counts as 2 because he's basically proven here down the stretch that he can pretty much take you the distance. Then you got all your arms available as you move forward after his starts.
2-2's cut on and missed by Hayden Travinsky. And Camden Sewell with a punch out for out number 2. Winner plays on a Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time, right here on ESPN against Wake Forest. Loser plays in the afternoon on a Monday, 2 o'clock Eastern time, against Stanford.
Play.
Here's Cade Meloso, 0 for 3 so far. Ground out, strikeout, fly out. Breaking ball to start.
Yeah, he's off. He's off.
Still 2+ innings to go in this as well. But if you're Tennessee and you start thinking ahead, if this outcome holds, you still got to like what you have left pitching wise with Chase Dolander, who went 8 innings in the Super Regional and again is a top 10 caliber draft pick.
If this holds, of the teams that lost their opener, nobody is better set up to make a run back through it from a pitching standpoint than Tennessee. I mean, that is where depth comes in more than anything in this tournament, is when you lose a game and you got to fight all the way back.
So what's crazy about Tennessee's pitching staff, to highlight KP's point, they probably have 3 first-rounders on their pitching staff, whether this year or next, and we haven't seen any of them tonight. So that's why he just said what he said of a team that's built.
Ball 4.
That was ball 4, so no snap throw necessary. Tommy White the second, and Cade Meloso's on with a walk, 2 aboard with 2 outs.
A team that's built to be able to come back and win even after dropping game 1. They did it in the Super against Southern Miss, and just because this team drops the first game doesn't mean they can't hang around a while.
However, if this does hold, they would get Quinn Matthews in an elimination game. So you get Dolander Matthews potentially, and
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, you don't see that matchup too often. Fighting to save your season.
I mean, think about what that would be like. This guy, Chase Dolander, came into the year with Paul Skeens' caliber expectations around him. Gavin Dugas strikes it well in the air to right center, and Scott with room on the track to make the catch. Tigers out 1. We go to the 8th. It's 5-0 LSU.
Use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA consent is prohibited.
The NCAA Men's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallets? 11 strikeouts for Paul Skeens, sitting on 199 of them this year.
Going to be a lot in that wallet here in a few weeks, by the way. A whole lot in the Skeens wallet.
3 back, just jumped David Price. And how about this, fellas? He's thrown 7 innings tonight. On the season, he's thrown 114. Big Ben did 202 and 152, which is pretty insane that did through 152 innings. But that just tells you how incredible the year that Paul Skeens has had. That strikeout per 9 innings is insane.
Ben DePolt now playing second for him. Blake Burke leads off 7-8-9. It's 2-0 and still carrying 100 on pitch number 104. Strikeout swinging on an elevated fastball and the fly out to left for Burke. KP, I'll go back to what you said to start the night. You said Paul Skeens could fly right now to Fenway Park, pitch tomorrow on Sunday Night Baseball.
Nobody would blink at all.
Line to center, right at Dylan Cruz. One away.
I think what'll get interesting for an organization is whether you shut him down this year, which wouldn't shock me, is if you take him, shut him down. This is the most innings he's ever thrown, and then get him ready for next year. He's going to be in big league spring training with whoever he's with, and I think they're not going to be surprised because they see the stuff. But I mean, this guy rolling into big league spring training when nobody's seen him before, he's going to turn heads with his first bullpen. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Somebody push him to big leagues. I mean, maybe you do it a little bit this year, but I don't think you push him to big leagues third week of July and have him finish the season out. I think the workload would concern me, but I'd have zero issue with starting him there next year.
Yeah, just 26 innings as a freshman, 85 last year, now up to 114, 15, 16, however this game unfolds. I think there would probably be a lot of wisdom in shutting him down and letting him build back up and getting ready for the major league haul of pitching every 5th day. But the other thing is, if the Pirates stay in it and the Pirates take him first,
put him in the pen.
It'd be hard not to think about putting him in the pen.
1-2 to Christian Scott is lined towards center. Cruz on the run, can't get there. Plays it on a hop. Scott digs the throw. Does not get him. 1-out double for Christian Scott, and in the 8th inning, Tennessee for the first time has someone reach second base.
Well, that's a couple back-to-back barrels too. It's pretty incredible that it's taken 8 innings to get to second, but this is a rocket off the bat of Burke, and now Scott with another barreled up ball into right center field. Cruz doing all he can do to try to keep Scott at first base. Scott decides to force the issue, and wow, what an aggressive slide in second base. So hard that he ends up past the bag. Fortunately, Thompson couldn't handle it. Tennessee has a runner in scoring position.
And we go down to the 9th spot in the lineup with action in the pen. The guys that Berkey mentioned, Riley Cooper and Gavin Guidry. And the pinch hitter for the catcher, Cal Stark, will be Dylan Dreiling, the freshman from Kansas. He's got an OPS better than 1,000. And we'll get a trip to the mound here to come see Paul Skeens.
It's Georgia's next head coach. Oh, was that Jay Johnson?
That's Jay.
I don't need all of Baton Rouge blowing me up right now. That's not Georgia's next head coach. When I looked up, I thought it was Wes Johnson. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the.
That'd get him going.
That was the run out to the mound, not the walkout that Wes usually does. Yeah, Jay's staying put, I think.
Yeah.
There's Wes.
Who will
That's
be
Georgia's next head coach.
Yeah.
The next head coach in Athens. He's finishing out this ride with LSU. 110 pitches for Paul Skeens. The 11 punch outs. 1 out, 1 on. And this is Dreiling. Taking a first pitch change up for strike 1.
Dylan Dreiling, an immensely talented freshman bat. They've got very, very high hopes for this young man's future. Still figuring out how to play the outfield, and so they went with the veteran Christian Scott. He can swing the bat now, and you can see the respect they're paying him there. Change up breaking ball to start this AB to a freshman off the bench. Just lets you know how much they respect his ability to swing the bat.
He's been really good as a pinch hitter this year. Tony Vitello told us today he Started against Paul Skeens last time and actually drove a ball pretty well against Skeens. Sees the high fastball called a strike.
Seen a lot of these SEC hitters tonight surprised at the zone of Angel Campos. That's just not a call that they've seen much this year.
I think they've been more surprised by in-out because there's been a little bit more out. But yeah, you're right. That was close there too.
We've seen the high breaking ball, a couple high heaters. That one right there, just right underneath the hands of Dreiling, is a nasty pitch from Skeens. Let's see if he goes back to the changeup here after speeding him up with the heater in.
2-2. Oh, strike 3 called at 100. 200 strikeouts this season for Paul Skeens, and a dozen of them tonight.
Just went back, grabbed a four-seamer, let it go. Still touching triple digits, and now that's yet another inning that Skeens has thrown 100. All 8 innings, he's hit at least 100 miles an hour tonight.
He's got 2 outs in this 8th. Back to the top for Maui Ahuna. It's 41 100+ mile-an-hour pitches tonight of the 116.
We said his average fastball is a tick over 98, but that's for the whole season. The last 3 starts, it's 99.5, and that's certainly what we've seen here tonight. I mean, the average fastball is basically 100. That's all right. I mean, we've seen more hundreds than under 100, and he's gotten stronger as the year's gone on. That's maybe the argument whoever takes him would be to use him this year in the big leagues, because he's certainly not running out of gas.
No, there's nothing that you've seen that would say, man, he's really getting tired.
Yeah.
He just hit 100 again, by the way.
Right.
It's just more historical, right? I mean, he hasn't ever thrown this many innings. But to your point, if you want to put him in a big league bullpen for the back half of the season, I think that would be understandable.
And he's a horse, too. He's had 119 pitches. Remember, in the regionals went 124.
The one thing I wouldn't do is send him to the minor leagues this year. If you're not going to bring him to the big leagues, that's totally fine. I don't love it.
That's the one I'm talking about. That one's up and a touch out. And that's both directions. And Maui Ahuna didn't like that one. A fastball that's missed a couple ways. Josh Elaner is going to call time and make sure Maui Ahuna doesn't get a pitch clock violation.
As if Paul Skeens needs any extra sizing on the zone. This place getting into it in the 8th inning. That's an offensive. Maui Ahuna calls time himself.
What you don't need is somebody getting thrown out, because then it costs you the next one.
Scott aboard, 2 outs. Skeens deals. Fouled away on 101, and you had a feeling Skeens would be a little more charged up after all that.
Well, that was the one Maui can do some damage on, too. That one was the one right around the knees. He just missed that one.
On pitch number 122 from Paul Skeens. Fouled away again.
101 again. The average fastball velo has to be in excess of 100 today. There's no way the math
has to be.
Math can't work the other way.
Ahuna making Skeens work. 3-2. On the ground, into center field, a base hit. Scott races around and scores, and the balls are on the board in the 8th inning off Paul Skeens.
And that is one heck of an AB. Skeens unable to elevate the fastball 3 in a row down around the knees of Maui Ahuna, and he finally gets the barrel to one. A fastball middle of the plate, just above the knees, and that one's going to chase Paul Skeens from the game as Jay Johnson's going to come take the ball from the right-hander Maui Ahuna gets the balls on the board, but Paul Skeens gave the Tigers everything they could possibly want in this ball game tonight.
Gavin Guidry will take over for Paul Skeens. Couple of years at the Air Force Academy, and Paul Skeens transferred in the offseason to Baton Rouge. And ever since this season started, he has been a capital S superstar. His journey has taken him here to Omaha, and on this stage, he was a star again tonight.
Pretty good day at the office for Paul Skeens today. Now, we talked early just about how historic a season it's been for Skeens. Got to the 200 strikeout mark for the season tonight. Just keeps coming. 8th inning up to 101. And a strikeout in every inning except 2 today. And for Skeens, 12 on the day and gives way. Not a lot of times you see a guy rolling out of the bullpen. We're number 1 either. But because Gavin Guidry's done a little bit of everything for LSU, but this has been a bright spot for him down the road on the mound. A lot of times late inning reliever, you're going to see high velo, and you'll see some of that from Guidry. It'll get into the low 90s, but what you're going to see is a ton of sliders and a really good one. Not too many have handled it this year.
And a ton of confidence from Gavin Guidry from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Paul Skeens was not too happy when he came off the mound. 123 pitches. He hit 146 times is the final tally for Paul Skeens. His final 8 strikeouts all came on fastballs.
And now if you're Hunter Ensley, you know the report. 67% breaking balls. Like you got to go up there with that in the front of your mind.
First pitch swinging there. Ensley to deep center, and Cruz is back. And that ball is off the top of the wall and gone. Skeens out. Ensley strikes.
Hey now. Looks like he did have the scouting report, boys. The center fielder from Huntington, Tennessee gets a hanging breaking ball sitting in the middle of the plate, and he launches it just over top of that center field wall, one hop into the seats. And just like that, we got a 2-run ball game. Things are getting interesting here late.
First pitch after the departure of Paul Skeens. How do you do, Hunter Ensley?
What a night. 3 knocks and a 2-run homer.
We told you that Jared Dickey predicted this coming from his teammate Hunter Ensley. 3 hits now for Ensley in this game, including the 2-run shot. Riley Cooper next. It's a 2-run ball game. Drama in Omaha on day 2 at the Men's College World Series. 3 runs in this continuing top of the 8th for Tennessee in this matchup with LSU. Gavin Guidry threw 1 pitch. It was launched by Hunter Ensley, the pride of Huntington, Tennessee, and now gives way to Riley Cooper, the lefty.
Pride of Fresno, California. Let's keep it going right now. The left-hander that was in a starting role early, now has filled a few roles as the year has gone on. But
Yeah, he went.
And to at least face Dickey from the left side, then we'll see after that.
And Jared Dickey went around, according to home plate umpire Angel Campos. Bouncing ball chopped up the middle. Jordan Thompson had to wait on it. He gets rid of it and got him. Dickey wants a review at first.
This ball almost squirts out of the top of Thompson's glove, so because of that, he has to take a little extra shuffle, and ooh, I don't know, boys. Gets to the top of the bag, cost himself. Oh, he's safe. Hey, no doubt he's safe.
This one will be quick.
Jared Dickey legging out a chopper up the middle, and Tennessee bringing the tying run to the plate is perfect for what the first 3 games of this College World Series have been like.
Late offense, comebacks, and tight ball games.
Yeah, you haven't really wanted to lead in the first 3. I mean, it looks cool, and then look up at the end, it's been different.
Watch this, this little extra shuffle.
If you're new to college baseball, coaches get 2 challenges per game. You retain them if you're successful. So, as we think Tony Vitello will be successful, he would retain this if overturned.
I'm sure this one, why it's taken this long. This was a no-doubter from the first look.
Oh.
The call on the field will be overturned to safe. Tennessee will retain their challenge.
Balls are fired up, and as Berkey said, they got the tying run to the plate here all of a sudden with some juice in the 8th inning. And they got their team leader in OPS climbing in.
This would be the guy, Moore or Denton, if you could pick one of the 2 in this Tennessee lineup for a spot like this.
Christian Moore takes a breaking ball for a land strike at the bottom of the zone. Moore 0 for 3 against Paul Skeens. Couple of backwards Ks on heaters and a line out to left. Caught on and missed. 0-2.
Yeah.
First 7 innings, Tennessee had 3 hits without a run. This inning, 4 hits and 3 runs on the board. 2 outs, man at first. Cooper's 0-2. Check swing, did not go.
You got to give Maui Ahuna a ton of credit, right? He's the reason this inning's still alive. And a bat that just, he wouldn't go away. Nice job by Moore putting the brakes on. He wouldn't go away and let Skeens walk off the field.
1-2 in the air, and that will fade off foul toward the seats.
When you think about it, going into that at bat, Maui Ahuna had 6 at bats off Paul Skeens, had 5 strikeouts. He got behind in the count and just hung around. Finally got one he could put the barrel on up the middle, and now Tennessee's got the tying run to the plate just like that.
It was only Ahuna's 2nd hit all year against 95+ miles an hour. And it has helped bring the Vols back. 1-2. A strike 3 calls.
But the Vols are hanging around, folks. Hunter Ensley making this one real interesting late. Hang around with us. It's going to be a special finish.
Tennessee with 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning brought the tying run to the plate with their cleanup man Christian Moore, and he struck out looking on this.
What you got, KP?
I've got it's consistent with what we've seen tonight. That's what I've got. I mean, that's pretty darn close, boys. I mean, up down, maybe it's half a ball off, but that's been called a strike tonight. It's been consistently called a strike tonight. And I know that within the SEC this year, that zone's been a little bit smaller, but if that comes out of nowhere and he gives 3 or 4 inches, that's one thing, but it really hasn't. I think he's called a strike most of the night.
Well, Tennessee frustrated by that. We go now to the home half of the 8th inning, and the 6'8" right-hander Hollis Fanning comes on for the Vols.
An interesting story for Tennessee this year. Look at that ERA. Now, not a huge sample size, but he has been dominant in his appearance for Tennessee. And even though it's a big young arm, He's a strike thrower. Just 3 walks on the season.
He's coming on to face the bottom third of the Tigers lineup that Berkey was talking about earlier, that has provided depth in addition to the star power at the top here in this one. No one more so than this guy, Braden Jobert. Got a new catcher as well. That's Charlie Taylor into the game for Cal Stark. Jobert, the RBI triple his last time. Nothing in 2.
All right, I didn't get you.
That did not get Charlie Taylor. See the numbers for Jobert. Jay Johnson said to us this morning he's playing the best baseball of his career right now. Said when he goes, we are really hard to beat. Well, he's been going in this one. That's down 1 and 2.
He's had stretches of his career where he can literally carry them. He pointed back to a Vanderbilt series last year where he just was red hot, and you've seen that tonight. Like the talent is immense.
And he pulls this one to right. See it. He's hot.
Pose after that, young man. What a show by Braden Jobert. And what a big insurance run for this Tiger team is Jobert trying to steal a little of the shine from Paul Skeens in this one with the performance he's putting on. He's a single shy of the cycle.
He's gone double, triple homer his last 3 trips.
That's called getting hot.
It's a bit warm right now. Yeah.
Toasty for the Louisiana native in his 2nd year with the Fighting Tigers. Now at his 3rd school. Started his career at Nicholls State in 2020. The next year went to JUCO in New Orleans. Was a JUCO All-American. Last year, 18 home runs for LSU. Outside to Jordan Thompson, 2-1.
He's hitting 7th in this lineup, and his OPS tomorrow when he wakes up is going to be over 1,000. With 12 home runs, that's your 7-hole hitter.
2-1. On the ground, left side at Ahuda. 1 away. Back to the home run from Braden Jobert.
Like a hanging slider, KP. Yeah, slider just pulls back across the plate. And man, that is one of the prettiest finishes you will see. That classic left-handed high finish on a ball that he just blasts a majestic shot over the right field wall. Braden Jobert carrying this Tiger offense tonight.
To the 9th spot, Josh Pearson. Takes 94 for strike 1. Pearson singled in the 3rd of the pull side, has since gone strikeout and ground out to 1st. Fanning's 0-1, down and away. Hit hard to 1st, and Burke stabs and slides. 2 down. Sunday, the Yankees are at Fenway for this weekend series finale. The Red Sox took game 1 yesterday, 15-5. Baseball tonight, Sunday night countdowns at 6. Then it's Yankees Red Sox at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Oh, Ravi and Eduardo had smooth sailing the rest of the way. 2 outs here, bottom of the 8th, and Tony Vitello is out to make a move. Another one for the Vols, and A.J. Russell, the talented freshman, comes on for Tennessee when we come back to the Men's College World Series. Peyton Manning and his son with the rally caps on at this time of the night here in Omaha in the bottom of the 8th inning. With the Vols down 3 to the Tigers. Bracket looks like this. Again, 8 teams, couple brackets of 4. It's double elimination. And then a week from today, best of 3 final with the bracket winners.
3 one-run games. We'll see how this one ends. But yeah, this is a good first 2 days hanging out with the Jets. A.J. Russell could be the next one. Already looks like the next one. Those numbers are accurate. We didn't type those in wrong. He's given up 9 hits in 28 2/3 and punched out 46.
He has a 43% whiff rate on his fastball. Average is 18. Well, we're going to find out how good that heater is right here.
Against Dylan Cruz. Single and a double.
That's outside.
That's 95 away. Yeah, it's 9 hits in 90 at bats against A.J. Russell. His 1-1 to Cruz. In the air, left center. Ensley coasts over, and the inning is over. That one carried a long way. LSU with Braden Joe Bear. Another one to the 9th. Paul Skeens likes it. Last licks for Tennessee. 41 Men's College World Series. Only 4 teams have lost their first game and gone on to win the national championship. And yeah, it's helpful too if you can start 2-0. Winner of this one plays Monday night against Wake Forest. The loser plays Monday afternoon against Stanford, who's likely going to throw their senior star Quinn Matthews. Riley Cooper back to work for LSU. He's got a new right fielder behind him in Paxton Kling. And it's 3 outs to play with for the Vols with 5, 6, and 7, starting with Zane Denton. Cuts through that, and he's down 0-2. It's go time for Tennessee. And Denton slows the roll of Riley Cooper.
We saw that ball that Dylan Cruz just hit blow an extra 20 or 30 feet deep into the center field gap. This, if you're a Tennessee offense, you got a left-hander that's a much different look than Paul Skeens. You got the wind blowing out. The conditions are certainly ripe for a rally.
1-2. Caught on and missed. 93 up the chute from Cooper. 1 away in the 9th.
May not be 100, but Riley Cooper knows how to pitch, and this is just well executed. Plus count, elevate the fastball. The thing holds playing in on the hands of Zane Denton right there. That's a big first out because this part of the Tennessee lineup, Denton, Merritt, Burke, can all hit it in the seats and change it really quick.
So now it's Griffin Merritt. Breaking ball on the edge that Merritt doesn't like. It's strike 1. The 0-1. This is pulled left field, and Josh Pearson is there for out number 2. Paul Skeens struck out a dozen before he left in the 8th inning. This LSU program, the 6-time national champions, back here at the College World Series for the first time since 2017 and trying to start with a win. Blake Burke the batter, and he takes ball 1. One-0 pitch is a strike. Was Burke now ready?
Would appear to be taking there. He had one hand on the bat. That usually, I think he's talking about getting quick pitch, but
1-1. And Burke chops it up the middle, tops in, well for the short hop. And Tennessee's got a man on with 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
I wasn't certain he needed to charge this one this hard, or even harder and make that a shorter hop, right? It was like you're either going to play that back because the first baseman Burke doesn't run great, or you're going to come and try to catch that thing in the air. What's the call here?
Well, Blake Burke is moving up, clearly. It's a second base.
Not sure what we missed there.
Well, Christian Scott takes ball 1. So man in scoring position with 2 outs. And Scott the batter. Some sort of obstruction in the air, left side, and Pearson toward the railing. Runs out of room.
No, I don't think that was it. The ball was caught at first base by Trey Morgan. He went to flip it back to Riley Cooper. I was watching the replay, and next thing you know, Blake Burke's trotting to second base.
Well, it's a ball and a strike for Riley Cooper. On Christian Scott. And the pitch. This is outside. That's up high, and it's 3-1 with the would-be tying run in the on-deck circle for Tennessee. That's Charlie Taylor, the backup catcher. Cooper deals and comes home with a strike, and it's 3-2. Line back to Cooper. He's got it, and it's over. LSU wins against Tennessee.
Well, 1-1 run, but it was a heck of a college baseball game. Paul Skeens, hard to outdo the hype. But I would say that he did. He was that electric tonight, and the LSU offense just continues to be a problem that nobody really has the answers for.
No, they're just a different team when he's out there. I mean, anybody would be a different team when they were out there. But this offense was so good against some really good Tennessee arms tonight. I mean, they were running some guys out there that have a chance to pitch for a while in this game, and yet the ball just kept coming off the bat with authority for LSU. They're dangerous. I mean, we knew they were dangerous. They're dangerous right now, and now they get Wake in two nights, I guess, which should be an awesome matchup.
And you would think that Wake Forest has the ability to throw Josh Hartle in that game after going with Rhett Lauder in the Deeks first game. That's the #1 overall seed against the team that spent the majority of this season ranked first in the country.
It's the only 2 teams that have been #1 the entire season. It was LSU for the longest while, and then Wake for the back third of the year probably, and Wake has, at least by the numbers, unquestionably the best pitching staff in the country. This it's only going to get better. The first 2 days have been okay.
Let's go down to Chris Budden with Paul Skeens.
Yeah, Paul, against one of the hottest bats in the country recently against Tennessee, 12 strikeouts. What was working for you tonight?
Changeup for sure, slider, curveball, fastball was off and on, to be honest, but yeah, it was nice to be able to make pitches when I had to, and had some good defense back there too.
The decision to come to LSU, so much of it is about the development, but also a lot of it was this. What was this like tonight?
It was awesome. Everything I could have asked for. Alex Box is pretty cool, but this is pretty cool too. So awesome experience.
I'm watching you pregame. You come up, you give me a fist bump. You're just hanging out in the dugout. How would you describe your demeanor?
Just try to stay as relaxed as possible, because if I get too amped up, then honestly that's where I get into trouble. So yeah, I mean, just trying to have fun with it.
I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice to be able to say your fastball is off and on when you hit 146 times today.
100 plus.
That is something. Not 99, but 100 plus many times from Paul Skeens in this one. So it's a heavyweight showdown, Wake at LSU, and then likely Quinn Matthews for Stanford against Chase Dolander for Tennessee on Monday afternoon. That'll be great. Coming up next, UFC Fight Night. 2 more games here in Omaha tomorrow. For Kyle Peterson, Chris Burke, Chris Budden, and our entire crew behind the scenes, Mike Monaco saying so long from Omaha, Nebraska, and the College World Series.